You've tuned into the Bellingham podcast for the week of June 13th, 2021. This is episode 192. From that very tasty city by the Salish Sea, I am AJ Barce.
And straight out of 98226, I am Chris Powell. On this episode, last episode, AJ and I talked about getting outside as a chance to enjoy Bellingham. If you're new to town, you might want to be able to grab a bite to eat, but you don't know where to go. We got the inside scoop, no pun intended. Won't you join us for this conversation of places to go and things to eat next on the Bellingham podcast?
Well, Chris, I think we should grab some grub and grab some mics. How we doing?
Doing just great, thank you. You know, the millions of people who are listening to this podcast, all four of y'all, great response to our first show about getting outside. Thank you for all who chimed in to give us the props and give us suggestions for other places to go around.
Totally.
We wanted to talk, you know, when you go to Bellingham for the first time, you may not know the best places to go. And AJ and I are not much for national chains for food.
Nope. That's not going to be found here. So on this episode, we're going to be hitting on the eateries, and I said eateries, not drinkeries.
That'll be safe for later.
The eateries that are Chris Powell and AJ Barce approved in our fair city by the Salish Sea.
That's right. That being said, Let's talk about the topic at hand. Last episode, we talked about or introduced this little series called Welcome Back to Bellingham. And for folks who are new to this city or maybe visiting, you can go on the internet and go on to certain sites that rhyme with kelp and to learn about places to go and things to do. But guess what? Wouldn't it be nice if you had an insider scoop from a longtime native or two about where to go, as opposed to, we don't know where these reviews came from and these recommendations came from.
And on top of that, with COVID taking out so many of our businesses here locally, you know, Chris and I have been frequenting those that we can to keep the economy here locally going, doing our contribution, as it were.
Absolutely.
But we also can tell you like who's survived. And so that is what this show is dedicated towards, is the bite to eat and our faves.
So here's the scenario. I started a scenario from last episode. You're in town on business, or you're attending a conference here in Bellingham or Whatcom County, or you're visiting family and friends. You've heard lots of good things about the city by the Salish Sea, and now you're hungry. Now what? Here we go. AJ, let's say you get into Bellingham at dark 30 in the morning and it's breakfast time. Where do you go, Tick?
You know what I'm going to say, and that is Magdalena's Bistro and Creperie in Fairhaven.
Of course, Magdalena's is the goods, as we say here on the Bellingham podcast. But this is for folks who may not be aware or are new listeners to our show about this wonderful place in Fairhaven. Tell them about it.
So Magdalena, which if you're listening, you are always the goods, Auntie Magda.
Preach.
Magdalena is this wonderful Polish woman who created this American French cuisine version of crepes. And it is in our historic artisanal district known as Fairhaven. And Magdalena's Creperie is the place where you go, where you're going to want to sit down and have a almost European-esque pacing to a breakfast. If you're going to be there, you're going to order a great cup of coffee. I believe she still uses Stumptown out of Portland,
because she knows what good coffee is all about.
And you'll be served in a wonderful mug that is she used to have like mugs out of I think Poland, handcrafted, that are like blue and white and stuff. And you're going to sit down and enjoy the coffee, the ambience, and then order a crepe. Now, for us Americans, crepes look a little bit different. Okay, it's not just a flat looking pancake with a stuffing. No. What Magda does is puts the stuffing on steroids. It's Chris Powell approved.
I'm working on lessening the amount of gregarious eating I'm doing in my life. But yes, I do approve of Magdalena's ingredients in said entree.
Yes, pork and chicken, and even some vegan options if you want to just have straight up veggies. You can go sweet or savory with her. Also, she does a baked crepe, which is fairly unique. And all of this is for the long breakfast. You're not going to go in and just have a quick, diner bite and jump out. This is where you're going to spend a morning.
This is no microwave burrito to kickstart your day. This is an experience.
Yes.
This is experience food right here.
And to which I will always say that in my book, Magda is the best chef in all of Bellingham. Talk.
I'm going to go in town more. There is a place that we have links to all of the places that we are recommending in our show notes. And for the love of my favorite wrestler of all time, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo!
Drink.
Yeah. Love you, Nature Boy. So I go with a place called Home Skillet. And Home Skillet is in town. It's in a residential area. And oh, by the way, folks, while AJ was talking about a European breakfast where you take your time, you're going to want to take your time to wait to get seated because there are limited tables, but it is worth it. This is one of the secret weapons of Bellingham, and we're busting the secret about this for you, dear listener, new to town. The wait you might experience for this breakfast, it is hearty, voluminous.
It's a skillet.
It's a skillet.
The whole skillet.
And nothing but the skillet.
So help me breakfast.
That's so help. Yes, exactly. It's the food is outstanding. It is definitely going to fill you up for the day. It's part of the Bellingham experience that, and the outside of the establishment is rather colorful.
Oh, it is the brightest, happiest place you've ever seen.
From Major Minimalist over here, this is not a sparse establishment, and that's okay. There's plenty of things to look at while you're waiting for your food or waiting for your table. Check out Home Skillet for breakfast when you're in town in Bellingham. So let's fast forward a few hours. It's lunchtime. We're getting hungry. Where do you go?
For me, I'm going to throw out an option that I appreciate because, one, I am a family that has a bunch of allergies, and some of those allergies are related to certain protein sources of the four-leg variety. So my family typically gravitates towards vegan restaurants because of safety concerns. For me, for lunch, there is this place called the Wild Oat Bakery and Cafe, and they are a vegan-only bakery and cafe. So when you go there, what's great about it is you can order. Even if you are a carniatarian, okay? If you like fish, if you like roast beef sandwiches and stuff, what's great is the way that they make their vegan options, it is pretty tastily close. They have a fish sandwich. That's what I'm going to recommend that everybody try.
A fish sandwich?
That has no fish.
Tell me more.
Seriously, if you're used to going to like a franchise chain restaurant to go get a fast food fish sandwich, stop it.
Yeah, we'll pray for you.
Okay, and go try the Wild Oat Bakery's fish sandwich. My sister-in-law came up here, and we took her there, and literally, I can't believe it's not fish. Like, it tastes so close and so tasty that there's no other options. Like, when she comes to town, I kid you not, my sister-in-law will come give her sister a hug, and then they will beat feet to the Wild Oat Bakery for lunch.
Of course they will. From an omnivore's perspective, such as myself, you want to be able to have good quality food.
Yeah.
And whether or not you are dietary requirements notwithstanding,
Sure.
I go to a place just because they make great food. They're a local business. It's not something that they have billboards on the interstate advertising. This is a good joint. And oh, by the way, all of the places that we're recommending, perhaps with the exception of Home Skillet, nearby you have so many other places to visit to walk off your meal.
See previous episode.
Exactly.
So that's all I've got for my lunch. Talk.
I'm talk this time. So I would recommend to y'all that you want to have something healthy because you're doing a whole lot of activities, especially after listening to our previous episode 191 to get outside. Downtown Bellingham is usually the railroad street, a railroad avenue, Cornwall Avenue, commercial, Holly Street, all of these one-way roads. In some cases, sometimes they're two-way, but you'll get the point. Park somewhere and get your tuchus to get your rumpus to the corner of Railroad and Chestnut, I believe. There's a restaurant there called Just Poke. Americans pronounce it poke, but the actual pronunciation is poke.
It's okay to say poke.
It's okay to say poke. This is a beautiful place. There's also one in Fairhaven Poke as well.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking in the downtown one, healthy ingredients, great portions. You can get, so I'm almost at a place where I could be man versus food in the quantity that I consume from that TV show from yesteryear. I can get the regular size portion, not the large.
Yeah.
The regular size portion will fill me up to that place of Hari Hachibu, which is a Japanese term for being 80% full, which is where we should be at all times, American eaters or, eaters worldwide. We don't want to be stuffed. I like Just Poke. It's healthy. It's a great place. They have outdoor seating available, and you can enjoy the Bellingham culture as it's happening live in front of your wonderful bowl.
So for people who might not know the cuisine of poke,
There's a whole lot of rice base, some marinated raw fish ingredients, some tuna, and some other types of seafood, spicy crab. It's a whole concoction of healthy. It's like a big salad bowl, but not exactly lettuce and tomatoes and carrots and celery. They have a whole lot of seasonings, and so therefore, and spices. So if you're not really much for heavily flavored food, this may not be the place for you. But I think that you'll find that you got to try something different sometime, so you can have something a little more exotic.
You know what else is exotic?
What's exotic, AJ?
You might be listening to us on KMRE 102.3 FM.
Oh, they are streaming all over the exotic world at kmre.org. And if you tune in the Pacific time zone, Saturdays at 3 p.m., they're going to be broadcasting this show. Gosh, we're happy you're listening to us on terrestrial radio here in Bellingham or on the internets on Saturdays at 3, and all the other times for their show programming as well. Let's go to dinner time, or supper time, if we will, because we're not hobbits. We don't have second lunch or something like that. I will say that dinner, we could do 12 episodes about places to go to eat in Bellingham. We're just going to start for a couple recommendations for those of you new to town. I'll go first on this one. There's a place down on Holly Street. Holly Street is one way that back in the day, because I've been here a few decades or so, their stoplights are timed going down Holly Street. And I verified this scientifically. If you keep your vehicle at 27 miles an hour and you don't have any cars in front of you, you can go through every stoplight without tapping your brakes. It's a beautiful thing. Eventually, you're going to get out of downtown Bellingham. But anyway, towards the end of Holly Street, as it approaches Maritime Heritage Park and the turnoff to get to the Waypoint Park, there is a restaurant called Black Sheep. It's across the street from Wild Buffalo. Yeah, we got a lot of animals for restaurants here in Bellingham. Black Sheep is a fabulous locale. They have outdoor seating and indoor seating. They have street tacos.
Yeah.
They have delicious drinks, if you will. They have a great atmosphere, and it's one of the places where the cool people in Bellingham go to eat. I should know because I'm one of the cool people that go there to eat. Reasonably priced, I would say, for an entree in Bellingham. Great place to go with friends. And then afterwards, you can walk around the downtown streets and see a whole bunch of other shops going on for Black Sheep. Talk.
So for me, I'm going to go back down south to Fairhaven, and it's a new restaurant to our city, known as Milanos Italian Restaurant. Now, if you are a Captain Get Out like myself and you used to go out to Mount Baker, you might remember out by Glacier a Milanos restaurant, and it is the same restaurant. They've changed their menu a little bit, and they've come to our fair city.
They went down the hill.
They did, well, not downhill, but they went down the
hill.
Yeah,
they haven't gone downhill. They went down the mountain.
Thank you.
There you go.
So anyway, Milano, I always loved going out to Milano. So after a long day or long weekend of hiking or trekking, I'd always take the family there, and we would have, they had a great polenta that my son used to like. But having them back in our town, it's really great. The thing about Milanos is, what I would encourage you to try their cioppino. Okay.
Cioppino, tell me more about that.
Cioppino is basically if depending on which culture you source it from, you have cioppino Italian, you have bouillabaisse, which would be the French equivalent, paella, more the Spanish equivalent. And what it is it's a fish soup, rice, vegetable hodgepodge. Okay.
Got me hungry.
It is super good. But with Milanos, I haven't tried them since they moved into our town, largely because they came right before the pandemic. But I can vouch for their cuisine when they were way out in Glacier. So now that they're close to the Salish Sea, I can only imagine.
We have no reason not to go visit them as opposed to the drive up the mountain. Now they're in Fairhaven.
Yep.
All better.
Now, all of these offerings, this is the structural, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's face it, folks, things happen, and you might be wanting to go to some of these treks that we talked in 191 or whatever. So you want to go food. And Chris and I are not going to send you to a franchise or chain. So Chris, where are you going to send people on the way to go to get some grub?
With the places to go outside, to take an exhale, to take a breath, like in our part 1, go get some to-go orders of food and go to this destination to have your
Picnic.
A picnic in front of a beautiful view. My place to go, in this case, is in a burger joint. There's a kind of a quasi franchise. They've got 2 locations in Bellingham, one in Fairhaven, a hop, skip, and a jump from Magdalena's and Milanos. It's called the Filling Station. However, there's also another location in the Sunnyland neighborhood district of Bellingham. That's at the intersection of James Street and Alabama.
It's near the Trader Joe's.
Yeah. For those of you who know Bellingham, yeah, it's across the street from Trader Joe's, where all of Bellingham and all of Whatcom, Skagit counties go to shop. Filling Station has voluminous burgers. I love how they have them named after cars.
Yeah.
Hence the name Filling Station. Get it? Great food for that type of diet. And if you get to go order in advance, their wait staff is very friendly. They're totally cool. You can also order drinks while you're there. But to go Filling Station, get yourself some curly fries, if you will, and a burger and a drink, and you're all set. Talk, AJ. Where would you go for takeout?
By the way, with the Filling Station, it's the only way in my life I'll afford a Jag.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I go for the Lamborghini personally.
Okay. For me, this is a long...
And me too, but AJ's going to talk about this.
This is a long time trope on the show. In our fair city, a lot of people, if you do good deeds, or if you have to barter, or if you have to help a friend out, there is a currency in this town. It is not Bitcoin. It is not Ethereum. It is Hana Teriyaki.
Preach.
You can have literally entire houses moved, folks, if you pay your friends Hana Teriyaki.
It's not like the days of getting
beer and pizza.
That's so 2003.
No,
we're in 2021.
Hana Teriyaki is the best ding dong bang for your buck teriyaki thing you can get in this town. You get a Horkin bowl of rice and then whatever protein you want. We prefer the spicy
chicken.
Spicy chicken.
But they'd also have beef and chicken and pork
and goizas, and it is exactly what your $10 $12 goes towards
and tip them graciously,
yes.
Ladies and gentlemen. Factor $12
yeah.
for a bicep curling plate of chow.
It is
to
a lunch
take with
dinner.
You. In these almost 200 episodes that we've been doing, I think we've had 10% of mentioning Hana Teriyaki. They're the goods, but here's the insider tip.
Yes,
go for it, AJ.
So here's the thing. Call in advance.
Yeah.
You call in advance, like at least 30 minutes out. Okay.
I would say 20 minutes. They're usually 20 minutes. Okay. Even when they're jacked full on the lunchtime rush.
Okay. So call in advance so that when you get there, you just walk in, hand your card, they give you your food, and then you take it out, and then you'll go wherever you're going to go.
It's don't be fooled by the exterior nor the interior. The food is delicious.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the hole in the wall restaurants, but
yeah. To describe what this looks like, if you remember in the Avengers, the shawarma at the end.
Yes.
That is Hana Teriyaki.
Yeah. After fighting tech crime all over the world, AJ and I often have a bowl of shawarma at Hana Teriyaki. Fun fact. Where this place is located, AJ and I will often call in advance for 2 spicy chicken teriyakis, pick it up, or pay for it, pick it up, and then drive to the Bellwether and the Tom Glen Common. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump away to get a beautiful view of the bay, plenty of seating, and to be able to enjoy the wonderful plate.
Completely. So let's change gears away from the grab and go to fine dining.
Fine dining. Does this mean I have to wear my tuxedo t-shirt?
Not in Bellingham, no.
I got a 3-piece suit if you count my shoes.
You'll probably stick out in this town.
I do anyway. I'm 6'3", sucker. Anyway, where would you go when you really want to put on the Ritz, if you will, taco?
Again, fine dining as in the cuisine, not in the attire. The place that I'm going to point out is it's new to our fair city, and it's called Storia Cucina. And basically, this in Bellingham, you'll find a lot of farm to table movement. You'll find a lot of holistic and agrocentric cuisine in our town, and Storia Cucina has that in spades. I believe the restaurateur that came to our town came from the Bay Area originally, and really everything on the menu is going to be in a local fair and local flair. And I haven't eaten at the restaurant because, like I said, when they came in, the pandemic.
This is all new, ladies and gentlemen.
But I can vouch. I was at a local author. They were releasing a book, and I was at their book signing. And Storia Cucina was the caterer, and I was blown away that here is a new shop in town, and what they were offering just as catering was amazing. And immediately I wanted to go. And of course, this was in the middle of winter. And then, of course, what happened that winter, the pandemic hit. So I haven't gone to their actual restaurant.
It's on your list.
Oh, it is the first thing as soon as my family can.
Yep.
So talk.
As we talk about fine dining experiences, the key word there is experience. At the top of the Taylor Dock, there is a hotel called the Chrysalis. And in the Chrysalis Hotel, there is a restaurant called Keenan's at the Pier. This is an experience restaurant, not the Jimi Hendrix experience. This is an experience restaurant. This is something where you're celebrating life. You're celebrating an anniversary. You're celebrating, a Wednesday, whatever have you.
Valid.
Yeah. Fabulous food. Beautiful view, looking over the water. The staff are incredibly knowledgeable and friendly. They know what's going on. The Chrysalis also has. Hey, guess what, married guys? In case you want to pamper your sweetheart, you can book a spa appointment for your someone special, and then have a meal at Keenan's at the Pier while you're basking in the healing of the pampering. And then go take a walk to go down to Boulevard Park, but we're getting sidetracked. The food is outstanding. The view is outstanding. Your experience, you will be taken care of. And therefore, Keenan's at the Pier is my recommendation for fine dining. By the way, can we just have a disclaimer?
Yes.
Okay. AJ and I have not received any compensation for these recommendations. I love on podcasts how they will talk about a product, and we want to thank fill in the blank company for providing us with this for our review. We've paid our own money to go to these joints, or we're going to use our own money to go to these joints because we believe in them, and they're Bellingham, and we believe in going to a local restaurant business. All right, let's lighten the mood. Let's go have some fun, some casual. Let's talk about some pizza.
Yep. So pizza in a college town, that is a necessity, and there are a ton of, I will say, the greasy box pizzas that you all well and know, but there's a lot of this farm to table local ingredient movement. The one that I'm going to point out is Oven with umlauts.
I love the umlauts. OVN, baby.
OVN out of Fairhaven. They're a wood fire pizza place. And the reason why I like to point them out is, again, my disclosure that I have a family full of allergies. And it's one of the places where all their ingredients are separated. So if you have a garlic allergy or something, you can talk to the wait staff and they can make, because everything's made right there. They know everything that's in the stuff that they make.
Absolutely.
Talk.
Let me go back before I talk. Oven Pizza is right near Magdalena's. So you can have your breakfast brunch experience. Go walk around the Fairhaven Village Green. We'll talk about that in another episode. And then you can have a nice early dinner, if you will, with Oven. And then there's a walkway right by Oven. You can't miss it. That will connect to the Taylor Dock, take you to Boulevard, and perhaps downtown. You want to walk off that pizza and that crepe that you just had during the day there, sports fans? We got you covered. Anyway, talk. The caffeine's taking effect, buddy.
I can tell.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of a longtime establishment here in Bellingham. Again, this is across the street from Just Poke. La Fiamma Pizza. Fabulous pizza, light crust, thick crust, whatever have you. They got other Italian-based dishes if you're a pasta fan or you just want a salad. Great environment. They were the pioneers of outdoor seating.
Yeah.
They already had the covered outdoor seating for those beautiful summer days. Pro tip, if you go to La Fiamma on a Saturday, it's going to be busy. During the warm season, the Bellingham Farmers Market is just right across the parking lot from their establishment. They're the goods. I've been a longtime fan of La Fiamma, and to be able to get a large pizza, totally worth it. And then finally, as we're wrapping things up, we've had these wonderful meals. AJ, I have a confession to make. I've got a sweet tooth.
Well, you are a sweetie.
That's what my beautiful wife says on a regular basis. Yes. But where do we go around town to indulge our inner junk food demon? that craving that we must have something sugary sweet. Go.
So for me, I'm going to point out another very local place. It's called West Coast Pops.
Yes.
And they're a popsicle stand, but a store. And if you ever go to any food truck rally or outdoor event in the summer, you'll see West Coast Pops there. The reason why I like them is, again, I have a family full of allergies, and they have non-dairy popsicles options, so my kiddo can actually have some. They have a wide range of flavors. It's basically Mallard Ice Cream, which is a local ice cream place here in Bellingham. They're the Mallard Ice Cream of flavors for popsicles. So if you have a dairy allergy or if you're lactose intolerant, you might want to go there as opposed to a creamery.
Absolutely. It's on State Street as we approach James Street. And there's this massive intersection.
It's the worst intersection in Bellingham, folks.
One of them. Anyway, but West Coast Pops is totally cool. My choice, one of two, and we'll wrap up with another one. Downtown, part of the downtown Bellingham experience, especially if you have family or you want to thank your host for hosting you, if you're visiting family or friends, you take them to Pure Bliss Desserts. And they have OMG delicious treats.
Cakes.
There's a line. Prepare. It's not like step right up and grab your stuff. You got to wait. They've got seating available. You can take and go. Cake. Yeah. No. The Nanaimo bar is my favorite. If you really want to get on my good side, listeners, get me a Nanaimo bar from Pure Bliss. I'll be at your beck and call. It's a wonderful location. They've been around for a number of years. It's firmly entrenched into the right atrium of the heart of downtown Bellingham. And finally, AJ,
our town is in crisis. We've lost so many donut shops in our
our fond memories of Rocket Donuts and Johnny's Donuts, and any others that I may have missed, but those two were the main ones. But there's one that has survived.
The Royal Rumble.
The Royal Donut Rumble, yes.
And that's Lafine's. Lafine's is off of Electric Avenue, right across the way, as we mentioned before in the previous episode, of the Whatcom Falls Park and Lake Whatcom. It's pretty. If you're looking for a donut in town and you don't want to go to like a grocery store, there are, quote, local donut shop.
Lafine's Family Pride and Ice Cream. They do have ice cream available. They have some coffee and non-alcoholic drinks, but the selection of donuts is extensive.
Yes.
Be prepared to wait.
Yes.
I've tried numerous times when I'm indulging my sweet tooth to try to thread that needle when I'm not waiting for someone ahead of me.
Never happens.
It rarely happens. So just keep that in mind. It'll be worth the wait.
So usually in more normal episodes, we have a quality assurance section. But for this, because we're talking about food, we're going to change it a little bit. And so instead of quality assurance, we're going to call it our secret weapon. And so we're introducing this in this episode because with food, there are two things that Chris and I want to are picked for you by Chris Powell and AJ Barce for quality assurance, guaranteed. But these are secret weapons that are very Bellingham centric. Chris, you start off.
AJ's done a fabulous job in this episode of talking about health conscious options available. This one is not health conscious. And so therefore, here's my disclaimer. Here's what you do when you're ready to go off the rails on your diet. I want you to call area code 360-647-266. That's 647. Boom! Sorry about that. We just blasted your speakers. So we call 647-BOOM 20 minutes before you arrive at Boomer's Drive-In, and we have a link in the show notes for the location for it. Call in advance, 20 minutes wait time. Order a Big Boom and waffle fries and a soda drink milkshake of your choice. They have plenty of milkshakes available. You will thank me later. That's my secret weapon for this town. Boomers is a long-standing thing. You can't just have them for lunch. You can't have them just for dinner. You might be able to have them for breakfast, but they open at 11. That is my secret weapon for the Bellingham experience. Best burgers in town. I'm 6'3". I'm an eighth of a ton. I'll back my words up with anyone that has an argument with me. Filling station's awesome, but Boomers is my secret weapon. AJ.
So my secret weapon, and there was a previous episode where I had the owners of a hot sauce company here in Bellingham called Hosa. They have since kind of been on pause due to the pandemic. So I've had to source my spicy necessities elsewhere. I found a new hot sauce maker.
Oh, okay.
Artisan.
I like hot saucery though.
Hot saucery. So here's my secret weapon. If you want a Bellingham spice, and add to any of these dishes that we've talked about, you're going to find El Fuego, which is fire in Spanish.
You're kidding.
I kid you not. El Fuego, elfuegosauce.com. You can find them here locally in our co-op. You can find them, I think, in like Hagen. Some of our local grocery stores will carry them. But these are hot sauces, much like Hosa, have a different flavor palette and range from my 5-year-old could dab it on his burrito and not have a problem, to if you're like my friend Danny that we've had on a previous episode, they'll make you break a sweat in their habanero flavors.
There you go.
But they have like a flavor of they'll add like mango. Like there's this mango habanero that I absolutely love, and it's a combination of sweet and spicy.
Sweet and heat.
And it is great. So that is my new secret weapon, is El Fuego.
I've always been curious about this, AJ. Can you enjoy hot sauce with a fork?
Well, I mean, the devil had a fork, and that was a hot place.
That's a good way of putting it. We should probably wrap this show up.
That was a hard fork. Anyway, That wraps up this 182nd edition of the Bellingham Podcast. Thank you again so much for listening to us, rating us, reviewing us, wherever you like to get this podcast. Remember, if you are in the Bellingham area, welcome again. And you might be listening to us on KMRE 102.3 FM.
They are community powered and streaming all over the darn place at kmre.org. Check out our show Saturdays at 3 p.m. if you know what's good for you.
And even if you don't know what's good for you, thank you for listening to the show. And I'm AJ Barcet.
And I'm Chris Powell. Thanks once again for listening to us on the Bellingham Podcast. AJ, I am so hungry. Can we end this episode? I want to go eat.
You want some hot sauce?
Yes.